Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Where the frick nuggets? There we go. Okay, people are hopping in. Nice to see people. Okay, people are hopping in. Nice to see. Just need to. Just need to pop this in a couple of chats. I don't think people are here yet. Okay. Oh wow, that's like a lot of that's a lot of reverberation there. I'm gonna wait a little longer. What the fuck? It looks like they added all the designs here now, which is nice because I get to comment on them. I mean, I've already seen them all, but it's kind of cool to see them in a more, I guess, refined way. I feel like there was something I believe I left off on Mega Scolipede, if I'm not mistaken, or Excadrill was my last one. I don't quite recall. I don't really know how to. What did I do last time to advertise this? I don't know. Sorry I'm not saying anything for the 2 people who were in the stream, but I've just been chilling. I'm mostly just trying to wait until there are a few more people here before I get started because it's more of like a comparative analysis that I like to do. Not a comparative analysis, that's probably not the right word, but more just that I like to engage with people when I'm talking about these kinds of things because it's extremely hypothetical. And let's see. I think the big one, there was actually, I guess, like kind of going back a little bit. Hello, both. So I guess like if I kind of scroll back a little bit, there is one thing I wanted to point out now that ZA is like out and talk about, and it's that there does seem to be some effects in game that are like tethered to the Mega specifically, which makes me think that they will likely be correlated with an ability. And then what I'm specifically talking about is Mega Victory Bell. So for those of you who don't know, Mega Victory Bell actually has a unique effect where it literally can poison and damage steel types, apparently. I'm just kind of hearing that. I heard that from one of my friends who was watching someone live stream. I don't know how true that is. I assume it's true because I don't know why you would make something like that up, and I don't think you can really do that when you're streaming to like a lot of people. But like, if this is the case, then this means Mega Victory Bell goes from poopy dog water to really good. Because what that essentially means is that steel types, which would normally be a very effective check to Victory Bell, are no longer able to actually check it, which is a really scary prospect. I also thought that while I'm here, I also figured I would talk about the megas that were leaked in for Mega Dimension because those are really interesting. And also, I mean, we don't have any concrete information about them, but we do know what they are, at least for the time being. And there's like a lot of like there's like smoking gun evidence in the files that suggests that certain Pokemon are gonna get megas, and they're very awesome. Like there are like a lot of Pokemon that are being like given a mega in the DLC that I'm really happy are getting a mega. How Mega Starmie stands up. Mega Starmie is honestly really growing on me. It's so stupid. I love it. I think that's the point. And like, I try to like kind of take that with a grain of salt because it's just so freaking funny. Like, what are we doing here, guys? Like, be for real. It's really funny. Um, let's see. I think. Let me see. I think I like posted this in a couple more places. I'd like to. I'm trying to see if I was putting this anywhere else that maybe I could share it with because I like to have more people here to talk about, you know. The stats are pretty funny. I do think I will say there is Butova, I will say that there is like a very heavy likelihood that these unique effects that are attached to some of these Pokemon will be like translated into full abilities. Like for example, I think like that thing I mentioned about Mega Victory Bell. Mega Victory Bell is probably going to get corrosion. Actually, is like probably going to get corrosion or like a better version of it that lets it hit steel types, which would be insane. Because then it can just like the only thing that can really threaten it, or not really threaten it, but respond to it consistently, would be something like Gliscor or like opposing poison types, because it doesn't really have any coverage for poison types, to my knowledge. But it does get things like Sleep Powder and Strength Sap, so I don't know. And Knockoff and Encore, like it gets some really good options. So if it's able to just like blow up steel types, and poisons aren't on every team, might I add. So like, but steals are. So like that was a big deal, and now it like can just beat them. Like it could just beat them. In fact, actually, I think it even can threaten them with like I think it hits them super effectively, if I'm not mistaken. I might be remembering that incorrectly, but uh, yeah, it's a bit of a fright to say the least. But let's see. Is there anything else I missed? Um, mm, I also kind of wanted to talk a bit about what abilities I think they would get, just kind of going off of what we know about them and also these unique effects that we know of. So, I mean, I already talked about Mega Starmie. Yes, that was a few days ago now. I explained that Mega Starmie probably has pure power or huge power because of its BST gain and its correlation with Mega Mawile and Mega Medicham. Um, what was I gonna say? There's something else I was thinking of too. It's like I was thinking about like Mega Scolipede. And there was something I had a thought on that I forgot to say the last time that I don't know. It's lost on me. Emboar, Clefable, and Malamar. Are you disappointed in their designs, or are you disappointed in their stats, or both? Because if it's Malamar, if it's with the stats, I agree. Malamar is like the worst Mega of all time. Like this is just like I don't know what does he even do? I'm like looking at this and I genuinely cannot tell you what this thing does. Like this thing has to have like a ludicrously broken ability in Champions. It has to if it's getting a stat line like that. Hopefully an amazing ability. I'm really hoping so too. I've heard people chuck around like Psychic Surge, which would be interesting. Um, because it would be very good for like clicking Expanding Force and all that junk, and also it's got a good utility move pool for it. I think my only issue with that is I don't think it has the kit to really take advantage of it. It like yeah, obviously it gets Expanding Force. That's obviously good, and it gets Nasty Plot too, which is also a pretty big deal. But it's the end of the day, it's got a really awkward speed tier. It's not fast enough to actually like be a cleaner, but it's not slow enough to operate well on Trick Room either. So it's hard. It's a really awkward benchmark. I feel like the way to use it would probably it's probably going to be designed around Contrary somehow. I mean, they gave it close combat apparently. I'm also really excited for Dragalge. Actually, that was what I was gonna get to. It sounds like Dragalge is gonna get Regenerator, which would be insane. I'll get to Dragalge a little later, and I'll elaborate more on Malamar later. It looks like we're getting some more people here now, so I think I'm more comfortable talking about continuing where we left off. So I don't recall what I think I'm 99% sure I ended it on Scolipede. Let me double check that because I would like to be like have some salience here. What the? Try to make streaming a more regular thing in the future. Something came up. Okay. Um. Uh. You know what I mean? Was the focus duo, and that they wanted to try and encourage a different way of using Mega Scolipede. Okay, I did talk about Mega Scolipede. Yeah. Okay. Uh. Okay. Cool. All right, Scrafty. So Scrafty's interesting. Um, so I will note that the Mega Form, uh, with the white sort of like apparel, I think it is supposed to evoke a like shed skin kind of vibe. Like it's based on like how like lizards have like very white skin when they shed it. So I think it's actually very likely that this gets shed skin, and it would definitely have the build for it. It's got a lot of good setup moves. It's got like I think it gets Swords Dance. I know it gets like Dragon Dance. It does get Swords Dance. Okay, yeah, so it does get Swords Dance. It gets Trailblaze, which is good. Speed tier's a little awkward, but I can definitely see like a slow Dragon Dance sweeper with this. Kind of akin to like the bulky Dragon Dance sets you saw with like Gouging Fire, and because you also have pre-Mega Intimidate on top of that, which is really nice. Um, and of course you have Stab Knockoff, good stab combination, and you have a lot of coverage for Fairy. So theoretically, if you're running that, you could easily just do like Dragon Dance, not Gunk. Sorry, I don't know why I wrote that. Uh, Probably Drain Punch if I had to guess. Say like yeah, Dragon Dance, Drain Punch, Knockoff, P-Jab probably, something like that. You go like max HP, you got a lot of bulk, and then you probably just want speed so you can snowball easier, and then yeah, your Mega Stone's already decided. And then pre-Mega Intimidate, then you have Shed Skin, and you can shrug off burns and stuff, which actually is a pretty cool idea because it's already going to be a knockoff absorber because it's quad resistant to knockoff, and it has a Mega Stone that can't get knocked off, which is pretty cool. I will also note that Scrafty actually got a major move pool buff. It got Parting Shot in PLZA, which is a really nice move for it to get because it's a bulky slow guy that like forces switches because it's got like knockoff, it's got encore, it's got a lot of really cool options actually to force switches, and it's got good utility just in general. And so it can like it sounds like it'd be a really solid tank. I will mention though the typing, while it is like good offensively, I do think it is a little awkward defensively as well because you're quad weak to Fairy and you don't really have very many like incredible resistances, which I think really is going to make it want to kind of lean in on its raw bulk. Yeah, the Dragon Dance Shedskin set. But I do think it sounds like they're trying to make it more of like a tank with this stat line and that attack stat, which I'm not complaining about because I think that's really cool. I think it's got the kit for it. Um, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Also, rest. Also consider Shedskin rest. That's like the other thing that's really cool about it. You can kind of do some Sandaconda shenanigans. Yeah, Parting Shot for Mega Scrafty is really sick. It also helps the base form quite a bit too. And I mentioned last time that Scolipede gets U-turn and Gunk Shot. That's actually more of a buff. I actually would argue that's more of a buff for the base form because Gunk Shot actually gives it like the actual like powerful stab that the reliable powerful stab that it's been missing. Like I know it's got Mega Horn, but Mega Horn is like Bug is not a good offensive typing at all. Poison is very solid because there's not a lot that checks it reliably other than like things that Scolipede has solid coverage for. You can run like Gunk, EQ, like Aqua Tail for Lando, I guess, or Rock Slide, probably Aqua Tail. And also it could run a solid pivot set. Like it's got speed boost, so like you spike on a switch, you're at +1 speed, and then you get a fast U-turn on something, which is really cool. So I actually think those are really fun and meaningful move pool buffs. But I don't really think that they help Mega Scolipede very much, to tell you the truth. Maybe Gunk Shot's nice, but like I don't really think a slow like Bug Poison that can't hold heavy duty boots is gonna really want to click U-turn that much, especially when it sounds like they're gonna try to make it sweep. Have a good one, Butova. Um, Let me see if I can. Um, shoot, I feel like I was sharing. I felt like there was another place that I was sharing this that like made it get more reception like last time because I feel like I'd like more people to be in the stream. But maybe that's just me being like, greedy or whatever. Wanting more than I can have, all that junk. Um, though if you are in the stream and you haven't liked it, I would appreciate because that does like kind of boost me in the algorithm, which is nice. And I like to be boosted in the algorithm because it makes more people join the stream. And also it also just like shows your support, and that's a very good way of providing your support. I don't really have a donation link set up yet. But I don't think people would really want to donate or really need to donate. There's not really a lot to get at the moment. But yeah, I think Vegas Crafty is going to be pretty good. I don't think it'll be OU. I think the typing's a little too, and the stat line's a little too awkward. But like that's not because it's fundamentally bad. It's just because I think it was going to appreciate a metagame that is not like centralized by fairies. You know what I mean? Like OU is like so fairy dense, and like the thing is, if it's going to want to be like a bulky setup sweeper or like a bulky disruptor, like fairies are like a problem for both. So, but I do think it'll be like RUBL or like UU caliber. I do think it can be like really good. And parting shots are really meaningful change for it. I do think it's likely it'll get shed skin though. I think that's probably what I'm gonna hedge my bets on. Okay, Electros. This is keeping Levitate. Let's be honest. It's a huge part of Electros's identity, like as a Pokemon, to be like pure electric type with Levitate. And obviously they balanced around that. I mean, that stat line is not the best. But it's still flying in the air, like even more like in an even more pronounced way now, I'd argue. And so Mega Electros is weird. Because the thing about Electros is that Electros has like this insane move pool. Like genuinely insane. Like a defensive Pokemon would love to have Electros's move pool. But like the issue is that its stat line is just way too like it's just not enough. And it doesn't hit hard enough because it doesn't really have a reliable electric stab on the physical side. It does get Supercell Slam, but I think Supercell Slam is trash. Like everybody, like it's technically good, but like I hate how much it punishes you for thudding into a ground type. I wish it like had a higher base power for that effect. Like it's just I don't know. It's not good. I don't like it. But that being said, those are awesome offenses. I mean, 145, 135. I mean, you get to kind of lean into what makes the Electros interesting as like a Pokemon because you can actually like use its offenses for some purpose. But I don't think they did it. I don't think they gave it enough stats is the problem. Because part of what makes the Electros awkward is its bulk. Because like when you're an like with this like defensive profile that it has, like having no weaknesses is like 85, 80, 80 is like a very rough trade-off for that because even when you have no weaknesses, you're still gonna get blown up by a lot of things. And like, yeah, you could run like lefties or AV or whatever, but like that doesn't change the fact that it's still just not enough. And when you have the Mega Stone, this is like no change to the bulk, and that's really disappointing to me personally. I would have definitely liked to see a more substantial bulk buff because I feel like that is really where Electros shines. Really just leveraging its unique defensive profile to kind of disrupt and like, break as a mixed attacker. And while like the speed buff is nice too, it's just not enough. This is just not enough. I don't think Mega Electros is going to be that good, especially because I think they're going to it's going to keep Levitate. I don't really know what other ability would give this. It's so deeply tied to Levitate. and like that's part of its identity as a Pokemon. I mean, I guess it will hit harder now, and it'll be slightly like it'll be faster. I mean, that's a decent enough speed tier. It's workable. I don't think it gets any speed boosting though. It does get Coil. I mean, the Coil Zap Cannon sets are probably going to be better now. Like those kinds of sets are probably pretty good with this, to tell you the truth. Like that's definitely a Coil Zap Cannon stat line right there. And I mean, I guess you could do like Coil Zap Cannon, Drain Punch, like I don't know, not Gunk Shot, but like oh, it doesn't even get it. Like Knockoff maybe. I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, it just kind of is Electros, but more. And I do think that's what Electros needs to be, because like at the end of the day, its stats are its core problem. And I feel like if they gave it Recovery, that would also change things quite a bit. Like if they gave it Recover or something, or like Roost or whatever, because you know it's I don't know whatever Recover. I'm saying Recover. Then like that would be a pretty big deal, and this would actually like be good. But the problem is this doesn't have Recovery, and the stats are still a little awkward given Gen 9 Power Creep, and it doesn't get an item slot. I don't think this is gonna really change the bar very much for Electros. I don't think the stats are distributed correctly in that regard. But I mean, Coil Zap Cannon's funnier now, I guess. Which is a shame. I love Electros. It's actually one of my favorite Pokemon to use, but it's just not. It just doesn't have enough stats, and it still doesn't. Okay, Shandy. I mean, I don't know. I feel like this needs to be faster, but like, I mean, I guess 80 to 90 is a meaningful enough benchmark that you are outspeeding like, you're not outspeeding Lando, which sucks, but like you're outspeeding Great Tusk, and I guess Excadrill too. That's kind of nice. Pesharunt, you're outspeeding Pesharunt. That's good. I mean, that is a nice speed. Like, honestly, that is a meaningful enough speed bump. I wish it just got a little more, though, because I still do think you're outsped by key, like, targets. Like, you're still, like, I guess, like, being, like, slower than Lando's not the biggest deal, because it usually likes to be a little bulky, but Granted, well, let's be for real. The bulk buff is nice, because Ghost Fire is a decent enough defensive typing. And 175 is a buff to special attack. A pretty meaningful one, actually. It'll certainly hit harder. Now, I don't know how to feel about Mega Chandelure, because I really think it's another Pokemon that's really going to depend on what ability it gets. If it gets, like, Shadow Tag, then obviously it's broken. And the reason I say Shadow Tag is because Chandelure had it back in Gen 5, and it never got released. And it would make sense for Mega Chandelure to have it, you know. But I guess they might not want it to compete with Mega Gengar, because it'll lose that, to be real. It's slower. It doesn't get Perish Song. That kind of sucks. Actually, does it get Perish Song? I don't think it does. Yeah. I do think it could be pretty interesting. It can't work with Trick Room anymore. But then again, 80 was already pretty awkward for a Trick Room on. It's hard to say, because Chandelure also does really like its item slot. Like, you know, you have Lefties, Choice Scarf. Not really Choice Specs, it already hits really hard. And 175 is kind of enough for it in that regard. I mean, Wisp Hex is obviously going to be pretty good. But I do think it needed a little more speed than that. But like, yeah, no, it'll be good. It'll rip some tier up. Because Chandelure is fundamentally a good Pokemon. Damn. Only one person watching? Okay. Maybe I should probably wait until more people are back before I resume here. Well, whoever you are, will sing. Oh, there's two people in here. Cool. The reason I'm looking for more people, is because this is kind of a discussion stream, or sort of meant to be one, and I'd like 4 people to be around to discuss. Because if I'm just kind of talking to myself, then what's the point, right? Part of the appeal to me is okay. Is there more places to put this? I don't know. I really don't know. Okay, a little more. Hello, people who are joining. It seems like we got some more felleronies joining the chat, or joining the stream. I'm currently on Chandelure. I can probably backtrack if people want me to, but it sounds like what's happening is I'll probably just resume, and if people want to chime in, they can. Where is it? Eh, alright. I'll just resume. Okay, so for people joining TLDR, I said Megas Crafty will probably be good. Not in a higher tier because fairies are oversaturated, and slow dark fighting is a little bit awkward. But Electros stats weren't allocated in a very effective way, so it'll probably be decent in a lower tier. But I don't think its core problems were addressed very well because it needed more bulk and it probably needed recovery too. Mega Chandelure will probably rip stuff up. I mean, it's Chandelure, to tell you the truth. Um, but I think whether or not it's broken is very like ability dependent. Um, Chestnut. I was not expecting it to get that much defense. Like I really wasn't. I thought it was gonna get a lot more attack because they were making a point of it turning its shields into like weapons, which made me think it was gonna be like really like offensive, maybe like a more of a tanky offensive. But which the lowered speed does corroborate, but like it's very much so just like a bulkier, slower, stronger fellow. I mean, granted, this definitely helps with body press. It's going to be blowing stuff up with body press. Like, let's be for real. The extra special, like honestly, like this is like very substantial, like bulk, like 88, 172, 155 with recovery. It gets leech seed and synthesis, might I add. Okay, it actually didn't die. It just like decided to randomly turn off. I don't know why. Uh, anyway, yeah, I don't know why they made it so insanely bulky. Like 88, 172, 115 is genuinely insane. I wonder if maybe their idea was to try and make it a genuinely insane tank off of that, like its many weaknesses, because it does have a lot of weaknesses to be fair. But like the fact that it has that stat line, stab, body press, and synthesis is like kind of insane. Because it can ID press you easily. It can set spikes. It's got spiky shield, but I mean spiky shield is like less useful without an item slot. I guess it kind of depends partially on it does kind of partially depend on its ability, I think. But it does get but it does get like, the insane move pool of Chestnut. And it takes good advantage of it. Like it's got knock, leech seed. Like it's just really bulky. Like genuinely, this is like I can't like this is like if Abalug were like a real Pokemon, except trade removal for like hazards and have an actual like defensive typing and actual like actual utility that is more than just rapid spin and recovery. Like this thing just like I think this thing is gonna rip up a lower a lower tier or like UU or some shit. I don't know because like it's like let me take a look at a calc here. I want to see how much Corviknight Brave Bird does to this. Let's see. So it's 172. Like 60, 70. Like what are we doing here? Like that's a quad weak. That's a quad super effective flying move. Like be for real right now. What are we doing? Bro is the freaking Iron Golem up in this. Like genuinely, what is this? Now, granted, obviously I'm exaggerating for comedic effect. It is a little slower, so now it does have to like speed invest to like actually be able to outspeed like beat it 1v1, right? Because otherwise Brave Bird will just delete it. It needs a lot of bulk for that. Like we're talking maybe like like that much. And what would that hit? Yeah, like 66, 78. I mean, that's still good. Like you're still like beating it, and like with body press, you're still doing a lot. Especially if you do like iron defense. Like if you're faster, like actually, like, hang on. You know what? No, I should. The way I should be doing this is can Brave Bird 2 a KO if you click iron defense? It can. It's a roll. It looks like. But wow, I mean, truly insane. Like the fact it just tanks this so casually. I mean, truthfully, I feel like what's partially likely is it actually might want to invest in special defense because, like, if you're like kind of like almost like Mega Aggron, where it's like you have so much defense, it's like, and especially if you're gonna boost it anyway, it's like you might just rather increase your special defense so that way you can actually like tank more moves in a vacuum, which actually could be meaningful considering that it does have some very nice resistances to commonly specially oriented like types like water, for example, or what's it called? I wouldn't say really dark, but and obviously like rock is very good to resist. I don't know. I guess this is just more to say that Mega Chestnut does have a lot of bulk and it has the tools to take advantage of them. I think the typing would be its undoing. I think its typing would be its undoing. It's either gonna make or break it. But like even into stuff like Corviknight, it's like not that big of a deal really, especially if it does drop Brave Bird, which like there are a lot of Corviknights that do drop Brave Bird. Oh, +1 Ice Spinner from Tusk. That's a good shout. Let's take a look. Oh, that does nothing. Uh, What are we doing here? Why does that do nothing? What? What is this? That did nothing! That's not even FizzDef! I want to see how much... It doesn't even... It doesn't even 4-hit KO. It has a small chance to 4-hit KO. Dude, what the heck? Dude, you could substitute on this. Actually, wait, we have to be +1. I guess that's probably a good idea. You do need a little bit of bulk to live to take 2, but like, wow. That's still really good. Especially if you do like physically invest. Which like I could see some like more utility focused sets doing. Yeah, I think this thing is gonna be good. I think this thing is gonna be very good. That's a really good stat line. It doesn't really need the speed. Like, I mean, like, losing some speed kind of sucks when you want to, like, be faster than stuff like Corviknight, but, like, I don't really think that matters very much. I mean, the fact they get so much, like, defense and special defense is just so crazy. The only thing is I don't really know how much it's going to use its attack stat, because, like I said, it is going to be clicking body press a lot, right? I guess maybe you could run, like, it's good for, like, more, like, offensive stuff. Like, I don't think it gets priority other than Grassy Glide is the only issue. It goes like Trailblaze, but it's too slow for it, I think. Like, I guess it's fine for knockoff. That's kind of nice. But, like, I don't know. Yeah, this thing's gonna be pretty good, though. Mega Delphox. Mega Delphox. I love you, Delphox. My beautiful son. Gets lots of moves. If it gets Magic Guard, she's him. Um, Actually, I would definitely say Magic Guard benefits the base form substantially more, because then it can hold like lefties, and it could be like a Wish Passer that's like toxic and Stealth Rock immune, which is pretty cool. But like Magic Guard's still good. Levitate would be interesting because creates a really interesting defensive profile. So you like are immune to ground and you resist fighting, so you kind of like, and you resist grass, so you basically are a flying type without the electric weakness and the ice weakness, and you resist ice. So like you're a flying type that resists ice in effect, which is kind of sick actually. I actually think that's a really nice like set of tools, because then like that consider that also means that you beat Mamoswine 1v1 if you have levitate. Like ice ground is a very powerful stab combo, and being like a fire psychic that's like just like immune to ground would be pretty cool. I don't think levitate would be broken, because you have to also consider that Delphox is also partially balanced around expanding force, or at least it's not balanced around it, but like it's a very important tool for it in the sets that it's used in VGC. And so if it loses the ability to use expanding force in that sense, then that definitely sucks for it. But like I still think levitate is worth that trade-off just for the defensive profile, and also the fact that I don't know, it's better for setup. I mean, look at its stat line. It's really fast and it's really strong. I mean, what happens? You click Nasty Plot and then you just kill everything. I mean, like, all things considered, that's a good, like, offensive profile, and Levitate just leverages that. So... Oh, it also resists Fairy, too. Like, honestly, I don't know. Like, Fire Psychic with the ground immunity is so cool defensively. I could totally see this running, like, Wish support, too. Because it can run Wish, and it's got, like, Encore. It's got Fast Encore. That's really sick. I like Fast Encore. Fast Encore is fun. It's got Psy Noise. Like, it could do a lot of really funky stuff with Levitate. And Levitate also just, like, really enables Broken Nasty Plot. I think whether or not it's truly, like... I think Levitate would be an amazing ability on it and would make it very good. I think if it doesn't get Levitate, it's a little harder to say. I feel like if it gets, like, Magic Guard, it's probably, like, decently good. I mean, like, I don't know. That stat line's pretty hard to go wrong with. I mean, 159 special attack is Megazard Y exactly, I think, and it's got mega low punny speed, I think. Like, just a, like 1 point under it, which kind of sucks, but Delphox could be fun on some hazard stack with proper hazard control. Yeah, I could see it. I mean, like, yeah, if it's not, but if it is like Magic Guard, then like you don't even need hazard control. You can just like run Encore 3 attacks with expanding force, right? Or not even expanding force. That's good for doubles specifically, but like Encore 3 attacks with hazard stack seem like is nice because then you don't have to account for removal in that case, which is pretty good. I'm curious to see how much +2 thrower does to. Oh yeah, you get Psyshock too, which is great for a special sweeper to have. So that's another point for Levitate, or another point for Delphox in general, because I mean Levitate just makes it easier to click that. Let's see, +2 into not Chansey. Let's see, it's 159. Wow, really did get a lot. Oh wow. Okay, that is a lot of damage. This thing's gonna be crazy. Not really. It'll be very good though. I think it is a little vulnerable to Prio. Like being weak to Sucker Punch is kind of lame. It does resist Grassy Glide though, which is nice. But being weak to Sucker Punch and Aqua Jet is kind of lame. Which maybe is partially the point. Like if they're running Levitate, if you're trying to like run Levitate with this, I think they're trying to consider common priority moves because it doesn't really have any way to deal with priority moves. I actually think it is very decently likely it doesn't get Levitate just because of its competitive design and sort of like how it's been used with Psychic Terrain recently. I do think it's very likely that it just like has a different ability that's more maybe Psychic Surge. That'd be kind of cool, but I don't really think it gets that. I think if it gets Psychic Surge, that would also be kind of crazy. But like I don't think it gets Psychic Surge. I think it's a floating thing, and it's a floating like wizard with like that's focused on branch like fire magic basically. I think it's more likely it has like drought or than that. But then it would just be Megazard wise, so I don't know. Holy calc? Yeah, it is a pretty nasty calc. I mean, like I don't know, you only need +2 and then you're basically just destroying everything. And then yeah, 134 hits 403, which is a nice speed tier. It's not the best speed tier. I mean, like I said, you'd like to be faster than Mega Low Punny, which is now broken, by the way. Mega Low Punny is now broken because they gave it Sword Stance and Mach Punch. So it's broken now. It's not Mach Punch that makes it broken. It's specifically Sword Stance, but Mach Punch is not good either. That's pretty bad news. But yeah, Mega Fox is going to be good. I think the ability is really going to determine how it's used, kind of similar to Mega Scolipede. But I do think it'll be good. Like unlike Mega Scolipede, I think it'll be good in a vacuum. Like these are just too good of fundamentals. Its stat line is incredibly good for an offensive Pokemon, and it's also just like got a lot of really strong moves. It's got lots of coverage. It's got good boosting. It's got good utility moves. It's got like I don't know. It's got everything it could want on paper. The ability is just really going to determine how it uses those tools, I think, and how well it can use them. Okay. Greninja. So on paper, this is just worse Ashgrung. You can't hold an item. These are worse offensive stats. However, I'd like to turn your attention to something here. Where are you? Yeah, here we go. It gets Nasty Plot. They gave it Nasty Plot. Why? I don't know. But they gave it Nasty Plot. Now, there are a few ramifications for this. I think whether it's outright broken is entirely dependent on if it can run Battle Bond and a Greninjite. If it could run Battle Bond and a Greninjite, then I think that would be kind of insane because you get like a base 142 speed bond, which might I add, amazing speed tier for a nasty plot sweeper. Off of a solid special attack. And also it gets a little more bulk, which is nice for its typing. That's something that Ashgren didn't get. And I don't know. It clicks nasty plot, and it sweeps. And if it gets a battle bomb boost, secures its kill, you basically just LARP as Ashgren. Because then you're all +1 on all your stats, and then you can Mega Evolve, and then you get your broken ability probably too. Which I don't know what its ability is going to be, but like I don't need to know what its ability is to know that this stat line with Greninja's move pool with Nasty Plot is asinine. Also, yeah, I agree. I think it's very possible that Battle Bond Mega Gren is very possible, like possibly like Uber's. I think the fact they gave it Nasty Plot is like single-handedly what makes this go from good to great, maybe even broken. Like, even Swords Dance is nuts on this because it actually has a real attack stat now. And they gave it Flip Turn too, actually, which is also kind of good. So I guess if you want to run like Battle Bond with a Choice Band or something, there you go. Like Battle Bond, Flip Turn, Liquid or something. Yeah, being Pulse Speed is pretty major because Pulse Speed tier is nasty. Not outright outpacing it though is a little lame because you have to speed tie it. But like I mean, speed tying it is better than being outsped by it completely. So yeah, I don't know. This thing is gonna be good. This thing is gonna be very, very good, and I don't really think the ability is going to change how good it is, especially if Battle Bond can Mega Evolve, which I assume it can. It would be very weird that if it couldn't, given how they changed Battle Bond. Or they just make it so Battle Bond is not accessible in Champions. And ZA, which is also a possible outcome. I don't know if Battle Bond is accessible in ZA. I don't know if somebody can verify that for me. If somebody could verify that for me, I would appreciate it. If it's not, then it's very possible they're just trying to get rid of Battle Bond completely, which, if that's the case, that doesn't really change that this is still insane, but, like, it makes it less insane, I guess, because Battle Bond single-handedly just makes it ignore Scarfers completely. And also just makes it more strong and lets its low BP moves actually more reliably secure kills. I am really curious what ability they'll give it, though. I feel like Technician would make a lot of sense. Kind of like what I do with Myleik. Because, you got Water Shuriken and all that junk. You could also give it, like... I don't know. I really don't know what you'd give this. Like, Inner Focus, maybe? I don't know. I don't really think they'd give it a very crazy ability. No guard? Oh, yeah, maybe. That's a good point. I know that you mentioned that it just doesn't bother hiding. It actually just, like, comes out and beats your butt. Which, like, no guard would also be pretty crazy. Just because of Gunk Shot and Hydro Pump. Like, those two moves alone make no guard a real option. I guess it helps, like, for Blizzard, too. Blizzard is nice to hit. Considering it does like to run ice coverage. I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't think it would be as impactful as something like Dragonite, but yeah. I think Battle Bond is just like kind of the deciding factor for me on whether it's Ubers or just top tier OU, but this thing is going to be a very, very good Pokemon. There's no way, there's no ifs, ands, or buts around it. Like, this stat line with Greninja's move pool with Nasty Plot is going to do some crazy work. Mega Pyroar. Mega Pyroar? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how good it'll be, because to tell you the truth, Pyroar kinda sucks. But, like, it's kind of because of its stats, to be honest. Like, I don't think anybody ever hated Pyro because of its move pool. Maybe a little bit, but not like that much. I mean, normal fire is a good stab combination, and it's got good moves on top of that, or good ways of using its stabs, I guess is maybe a better way of putting it. Okay. Um, and so, ah, now its ability is really going to decide whether or not it's just like fine in a lower tier versus actually like worthwhile in a higher tier. I don't think it's ever going to be top tier OU or even that good, even good in OU, because at the end of the day, it doesn't have a lot of utility. It's an attacker, right? It's kind of designed to be an attacking Pokemon. It doesn't have like it just kind of clicks like it stabs at you aggressively. Yeah, I don't really know what they were doing with that with this. Like they just literally just like dumped 20 in every stat. There was like no focus here. And this thing needs focus. I mean, like literally its stats are its problem. I don't think it's going to be that good. Unless they give it like drought or something, or like drought or adaptability. Like they need to give it a good ability to make it really sting. I could see. I think drought or adaptability are the most likely. I think adaptability because it's sort of like designed to almost like resemble like it's supposed to take both the male and female designs and like blend them into one, and that kind of gives me adaptability vibes because it's like it's becoming the ultimate pyro or whatever, right? Um, and also it's got the fire symbol for its main, which is also kind of cool. But also that could mean that it's more in tune with being fire, I guess. Um, yeah, it's like Yu food. I don't know. It gives me it's like it's giving Mega Houndoom if Mega Houndoom were like a little faster and didn't have Nasty Plot. Maybe that's me being too mean to Mega Houndoom, but Mega Houndoom is also just not fast enough. Is kind of its real problem. So Mega Pyro might be a little better. I don't know. Probably not. It's probably not that good. I mean, I don't think it's strong enough. It doesn't get boosting. I think it needs adaptability or drought or something like that to really like sting somewhere. Because otherwise, it's just gonna kind of be a lower tier Mega. There's just not a lot to it, unfortunately. Also, for new people joining the stream, two things. One, if you'd like the stream, I would really appreciate it. Boosts it in the algorithm and also shows your support, and I really greatly appreciate it. The other thing is Mega Victory Bell is actually better than I thought it was. I don't think people were here when I said this, but apparently there are some Pokemon in game that have like unique code tethered to their Megas for how they like. So like for example, Mega Victory Bell can actually hit Steel types with its poison moves, which is substantial because that suggested it's probably going to get Corrosion or like a better version of Corrosion. So that actually is like a big deal because we didn't really know what ability would make it good. That is the kind of ability that would make it good. Um, so if there are any more instances of that, I'll try to remember, but to my knowledge, there's not. It's like that and Mega Starmie are like the only ones that come to mind for me. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. There's not a lot to say here. I don't think it's going to be very good. It might be decent, like in a lower tier. I mean, it's kind of hard to go wrong with that stab combo and like a good speed tier like that, but like, I don't know. It's not enough. It's not enough. I don't think. It needs a good ability. Uh, okay, Floette Eternal Mega. So I have to tell you the truth. Mega Eternal Floette is a really hard Pokemon to quantify because Floette Eternal has never, like Eternal Flower Floette has never been released, so we don't know how good it'll be. We genuinely like have never seen it in a competitive tier before, other than like Draft, which like Draft is not a very great way of, especially in like Nat decks where it's the only one that's the only time it's really available. It's very hard to say how good it'll be. But like, you know, Light of Ruin is a funny move. It kills things, etc., right? But it is officially debuting. This Pokemon is now usable. Or it will be usable, which is very exciting because I really like Eternal Floette. It's a cool Pokemon. And Light of Ruin is a funny move. Now that being said, the Mega is interesting because, again, I can't tell you how good or bad it's going to be because I'm usually comparing these to the base form and sort of how good they are and sort of like what their tools look like. But the thing is, we don't know what what Eternal Floet's viability floor even looks like. It's got to be good. I mean, obviously, it's speed. It's Light of Ruin, the speed tier. Like, I mean, I don't know. It's nice. But with this stat line, breaking past base 100, that speed tier, very nice. More power, nice. More bulk, nice. Like, I don't know. It'll definitely be good. I mean, for sure. Like, Light of Ruin's gonna destroy everything. I'm curious what ability it'll get though, because it's very obviously tethered to the story in terms of its flavor. So I'm really curious to see if it gets like a custom ability or something. An idea that I had was like it dealing the recoil it deals to itself to the opponents, which would be kind of insane because it basically just makes Light of Ruin the most spammable move of all time, which is kind of funny. Um, it is really hard. Hi, Skeptic. It is hard to judge until we know its ability, but there are some Pokemon that are like that have the fundamentals. We're talking about Mega Eternal Floet right now. And I was saying how it's a little hard to know how good it'll be because we don't have a sort of viability floor for Eternal Floet. But its fundamentals seem fine. I mean, like Light of Ruin and those stats are good. I mean, that's kind of goes without saying. Did you have any thoughts on previous mons you'd like to share? Because the chat wasn't very active for when I was going through like Scrafty, Electros, Shandy, that kind of range. So if you have any thoughts on those, I'd be happy to revisit them. But yeah, I mean, I don't really know what it'll run. Really, I mean, it'll probably run like Synthesis, Light of Ruin. It doesn't really get any Steel type coverage. That's a little unfortunate. But it'll probably like 2 a KO every Steel type ever anyway. I mean, I don't know. Let's use Corviknight as an example, and then we have Floet Eternal with Light of Ruin off of 155, was it? I gave this thing base 200 special attack. That does 37 to 43 to Corviknight. Okay. How Scolopede's playstyle is going to be. I agree. I really don't know how it's going to play. I think how it's going to play is very dependent on its on what ability it gets. Like if it keeps speed boost, then just carry on. It's broken Scolipede just has to snowball a little more. If it gets like stamina, then I think it's like trying to lean into like being almost like a baton pass mon. Which would be interesting because that was its identity before it got banned. You probably should stay in base to get speed boosts. I mean, that was probably designed around that. I mean, there's no way. Like, also, but I will say, Mix and Mega is going to go crazy with this Pokemon because minus 50 speed is really funny for Trick Room. It's really funny for Trick Room. Scrafty doesn't look that mid, by the way. I don't think it'll be OU because Dark Fighting with like, you know, while being quad weak to Fairy and being slow is not very good. But I do think the fundamentals are like fine enough. Like it'll be a solid like slow bulky setup sweeper or like a decent like disruptive pivot elsewhere or like in a lower tier. I mean it'll probably get like Shed Skin was sort of my thought because it's based on lizards, very overtly lizards, shed lizard skin. So I'm happy about Electros getting buffs, but I don't think the buffs were correct. I don't think these were the buffs that Electros needed. It needed, in my opinion, the speed is fine, but it needs more bulk and it needs recovery. That's really the core problem with the Electros, because even though it had because I think this is gonna keep Levitate, to be honest, but I don't think it doesn't power. I don't obviously the power is nice. But I think what's more likely is this set this feels like almost like it's encouraging the Coil Zap Cannon stuff. This is the stat line that makes me think of Coil Zap Cannon. I want Mega Electros to be good. I love Electros, but I just don't really see how it can be good unless it gets recovery or like a little more bulk, because it just doesn't get any bulk at all, aside from like a little bit in special defense. Shandy does look. I mean, Shandy doesn't look super interesting in my opinion. It is just kind of Chandelure but more. But I think Chandelure but more is a fine enough angle to take, considering that like it likes more speed and it likes being able to click its stabs a little bit better. I think whether or not it'll be broken is completely dependent on like its ability. I think if it gets shadow tagged, like people are hypothesizing, then like obviously it'll be ludicrously broken, but I don't think it'll get shadow tag. I think it's more likely that it's gonna get like some offensive boosting ability of some kind. I agree. I think Chestnut is going to be very. I think Chestnut's going to be a pretty scary guy. It takes even like Brave Bird from Corviknight. It's very hard to exploit this because it has so many crazy moves, and it has recovery, and that bulk is very good. But yeah, Mega Eternal Floette is like fine. I think it'll probably be good. I mean, it's just kind of hard to say because I feel like its move pool is probably going to be like tweaked quite a bit going into ZA. Not going into ZA, but like going into whatever game it's going into from off of ZA. But I mean, I don't know. They're on the website. Wait, did they actually put them on Showdown? They did. They did. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, that's kind of fun, actually. I wasn't expecting that. So I guess they're just giving it ability 1, huh? Is that like the idea? I guess that's fair enough. Let me think of like Phalanx. I don't know. Yeah, Phalanx. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Let me look at Zycard. I'm curious if they put Nihilite in this thing here. Actually, let me just like put this in. Like, I don't know, a custom battle. I don't know. I don't know how to do that. Yeah, I didn't even. It's not even that I thought they wouldn't be here till release. It's that I didn't think they'd put them in at all because they have no like discerned mega ability. Like they have 3 placeholders, not just like a single one that's based off of like ability 1 or whatever. It's literally just like. So I guess it's just like they're just doing ability 1 and going off of that, which I guess is fine. Yeah, and the rest of these are like illegal, which makes sense. This is so interesting. This stat line, you would not think this is Scolipede looking at this. Dumawa, yeah, they still have the not. They probably don't in this, but they probably have it in They probably have it in the game if that's what you're wondering. That's pretty cool. Cool to see them, but like I said, I don't think they're gonna. Um, I don't think this is. I feel like until we get confirmed abilities, this isn't just like enough information in that regard. Anyway, pretty cool. Anyway, Mega Malmar sucks. I don't think I need to sugarcoat that. This thing is horrible. Dookie dog water. It's so bad. It's so bad. What are we doing here? What is this? There's no direction with this. Like literally the only thing I can think of is that it's going to have a ludicrously broken ability. That has to be what they're doing. It's not slow enough for Trick Room or fast enough for like reliable sweeping, so it's like I don't know, are they trying to lean into like contrary because they gave it close combat in this game, so it's like I don't know. I don't know. They were hyping it up just to be trash. They like literally gaslit us. Like I almost wonder if it's like intentional, like they made it intentionally bad to kind of lean into, gaslighting everyone into loving my friend Malamar. Like this thing is so fucking garbage. Like what are we doing? What have we? There's no direction here. It's so bad. Like come on, be for real, dude. I don't know. It's hard. I don't know. It's funny to call it trash, but like I kind of called it too because like it's a slow dark psychic type that has a very unfocused stat line, and it still has an unfocused stat line, and so it needs a broken ability and maybe some new shit. Otherwise, it's just like cooked. I think this thing is probably going to be the worst mega of all time, like by a good mile. It's so garbage. I don't know what this is supposed to do. I mean, highest stat is at 120 is not a problem because I mean, if you look at Mega Altarica, its highest stat is 110, and it's a very good mega. It's the fact that they made an unfocused stat line on a Pokemon that could not afford to have that. Like Mega Altaria makes sense because you got Dragon Fairy, one of the best defensive typings in the game, and it has Pixelate and a really good move pool. Mega Mawile's highest stat is 125 for its defense. This stat line is not very good in a vacuum, but it gets huge power, and it's a Steel Fairy with a lot of good offensive moves and setup options. Oh yeah, no, I'm happy to be proven wrong. It makes me genuinely think it's gonna get a broken ability. These stats are so egregiously bad that I don't think it doesn't get a broken ability. I just don't know what that ability is going to look like is the issue. Because it's so unfocused that it's hard to discern what an ability would what a broken ability even looks like for Mega Malamar. The only thing I can think of is like it gets some kind of like it gets like a unique like it sets a unique effect or something. Like sets like Adverse Room or something like that, which I thought would be kind of fun because Dark Psychic with an Inversion Room actually is a very good like combo because then you're quad resistant to U-turn and your stab combination is completely unresisted. There's nothing that resists Dark Psychic in Inverse Room. Yeah, Instant Gravity on Switch in it would actually be like good. Because yeah, it's fast enough to take advantage of something like that. It's got Hypnosis. I mean, Auto Gravity Set. How useful is that for it? Aside from Hypnosis, it's literally just Hypnosis. There's nothing else here that really cares about Gravity. But I mean, it helps its teammates, and it can click Hypnosis. I mean, that's something. I mean, yeah. My point is it needs a broken ability, and it'll probably have to be a broken effect because this is just not a good stat line. It looks more like it's trying to like it looks like the definition of Gaslight. Anyway, going from complete dog shit, we have completely broken. And you might be wondering why I'm calling Mega Barbaracle broken. Well, there's a certain move that Barbaracle gets that no Mega gets other than Mega Blastoise, which is not going to keep it. It's Shell Smash. This thing gets Shell Smash. It doesn't get Shell Smash in PLZA, but that's because they removed the move. Yeah, no, Mega Chestnut's going to be pretty good. I don't think it'll be the best defensive presence in OU has ever seen. I think the typing and like weaknesses are a little too awkward for that, but I do think it'll be very solid. Like having that defensive stat line with very meaningful resistances on top of having recovery and a lot of utility moves that are like very proactive is like very meaningful for it. And yeah, Mega Barbaracle looks awesome. It's a really good Mega. I love how it looks like it's like doing the Frieza pose. It's so funny. But it's also really cool. But anyway, they made it faster, which I thought they'd make it slower or just not touch the speed. But no, they made it faster, which means on top of having a arguably better stab combination than Rock Water, you're literally looking at something that can just utterly demolish everything once it clicks Shell Smash, because it resists Sucker Punch now. It doesn't resist Grassy Glide and Thunderclap, which sucks, but like resisting Sucker Punch is pretty good. Mega Chestnut gets 3-hit KO'd by Chien-Pao? No, you have to be lying. There's no way that that's true. Is that +1 defense? Did it have Dauntless? Did they give it like Dauntless Shield or something? Huh. Yeah, I mean, I guess if it's if it has Dauntless Shield, that works, but that's assuming it's Dauntless Shield, which I don't think it will. It's very tied to Zamazenta, and also it doesn't really use the shields. It uses it weaponizes its shields. I think it's more likely that it gets, if it does get a defensive ability, which actually, if it gets like stamina, then that would be pretty meaningful, because then it converts knockoff and U-turn, which it resists, into an advantage, and that's really strong. If it gets stamina, it will be top tier. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. If it gets stamina, it will be a genuinely top tier mega. Ignore all flavor and give it Wind Rider. I need a hand, I am motherfucking Gerson Boom. I'll kill you with my poo. I am motherfucking Gerson Boom. Anyway, yeah. I think if it gets stamina, it will be busted. Or not busted, but it'll be very, very good. I think it'll be good either way. I mean, these are very good fundamentals, but I'd really like to see what ability it gets. Going back to Barbarical. Barbarical is broken. That's a really good stat line for a Shell Smash Mon. It's very bulky. It's a nice defensive. It's a solid defensive typing, for its purposes. Like, it was dual screens, it'll work. You got. I mean, the only thing is it's got inaccurate stabs. That's like literally it. And even then, you can just run you could look at that power and at +2, and you could just get away with running Rock Slide and Brick Break, and it's not that big of a deal. Then you run EQ, and it's fine. But then if you run but I do think if it gets no guard, which actually I could see it getting no guard, then that's that's an even bigger problem, because then you can run Stone Edge and Cross Chop more reliably, and that's messed up. I think it gets close combat in PLZA 2. Actually, it might get close combat in PLZA. Let me check that. It does get close combat. Okay, never mind. It's over. It's over. They give it close combat. Okay, this thing is even more broken than I thought it was, because I didn't know it got close combat. That's insane. This thing is broken. This thing is genuinely broken. And I'm not even exaggerating. I think it will be genuinely broken. They just did not consider Shell Smash at all. Let's see how much it does with Court of Night with close combat, just for fun. We didn't make it fighting yet. Yeah, shocker. Oh wait, that has Tough Claws. Forgive me. Forgive me my folly. Yeah, no, all the Kano starters look all the Kalos starters look genuinely great. They look really good. I talked about Mega Delphox earlier. These are just insane fundamentals. It's got, if they give it Levitate, it'll be a really broken Nasty Plot guy. Mega Greninja also getting Nasty Plot is just broken, especially if it's compatible with Battle Bond, which it probably will be. No, Barbarical I think is genuinely going to be busted. You might need Stealth Rock, I guess, for Corv, but it's not that big of a deal? Question mark. Because it's got 88 base speed too, so you could even run Adamant probably. You could probably get away with, yeah, you don't even need freaking Jolly, you can just run freaking adamant and then just kill everything. Let's see, let's just do. Yeah, like, I mean, you do need rocks for that, but, like, that's not that big of a deal. Like, you're still, like, killing it. And that's a Fizdef Corviknight, by the way. I guess Landorus. How we doing? That's doing. Let's see how much Stone Edge does. Stone Axe, but that's also pretty crazy. Stone Edge at +1 does 80 to 95 to Landorus. Actually, it's not doing as much as I thought, but it's still like destroying everything ever. Like that's still like the bulk is good, the typing is good, the stabs are very good, the attack is good, the speed is perfect for a Shell Smash Pokemon. Like this thing is gonna be good as hell. I wonder what ability it'll get. If it keeps Tough Claws, then like it's lights out. Because then it could just spam CC into the ends of the earth, and you can't do anything about that. Like it doesn't even need like it literally is just running Stone Edge or like Rock Slide as like more of a way to kind of deal with other things. Because then you could just run I don't know, you can run like Liquidation for Lando, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't even need EQ in my opinion, unless like it's dealing with Goldengo. Skill Link on Mega Gren, I don't see that because I think giving it an ability just for giving it, I feel like they would have given it more multi-hit moves in this game if Skill Link was their intention. And so just like giving it Skill Link just for Water Shuriken feels a little weird. I think it's more likely they give it either Technician or something like Inner Focus to kind of keep it in check. Which Inner Focus would be good for it too, because Swords Dance sets would also be good. Anyway, yeah, I think it'll be broken. Maybe not broken, but it'll be broken. You know what I mean? I think it'll be crazy. The fact they gave it close combat, like if it didn't have close combat, I think it'd be like borderline. But like no, them giving this close combat is like lights out. This thing will be good as hell. Mecha Dragalge. This thing is probably getting Regenerator because it spreads cancer with its poison apparently. And it mentions regenerative poison, so I think it'll get Regenerator. And what a good stat line to give a Pokemon with what a good stat line and a good typing for a potential Regenerator Pokemon, because this is really good for like Dragalge's got an amazing like pivot like build. Like it's got like Flip Turn, it's got Toxic Spikes, it's got Dragon Tail, which is pretty fun. They gave it some. They didn't give it any attack, but they did give it quite a bit of special attack. Like I mean, I don't know, Draco, Sludge Bomb. Sludge Bomb's good. Flip Turn. I don't know. If it has regen, then you run like Toxic or Toxic Spikes here. Maybe not Scald, but like I don't know. I don't know what you'd run last. I guess you could do like. I probably would say Toxic Spikes, truthfully. Yeah, no, this thing is gonna be good. I mean, I get it. I guess it's dependent on if it gets regen, but I think it will. And regen is a big deal for a Pokemon like this. Those are like genuinely Dragalge's core issue is its lack of longevity, and Regenerator literally like solves that. I think it'll be like really good. The typing is like really nice. I could see it like running Focus Blast last, maybe. Yeah, I don't think there's too much to say. I think it'll be good. I like it feels like it'd be a really good glue mega, you know? You need like a poison type pivot that also can like threaten things, but you don't want to run cringe King. There you go, Mega Dragalge. Because it's also got a slow flip turn too. It didn't get any speed. I think it like underspeeds it underspeeds stuff like Corviknight, which also you can hit with T-Bolt, by the way. Just throwing that out there. Oh yeah, no, if it gets regen, then like Aloe Dragalge become basically unkillable. Oh yeah, no, this walls the hell out of Urshifu Rapid Strike, which I like because they also gave it a decent amount of defense too. Like that's like if this gets regen, then like it's lights out. This thing is gonna just like be the most like the ultimate glue, to be honest. I don't think it gets any boosting though, and that is worth. It gets acid armor. I mean, sure, this doesn't get any, but it doesn't get like. I don't think it gets anything to really boost itself, which is really the only issue I see. I think it's really going to be relegated to being like an offensive like pivot. Oh, you can run Whirlpool too to ease prediction. That's kind of nice. Yeah, I really hope Dragalge is. Oh yeah, Wellspring is just like it's over. Oh yeah, Mega Chestnut's also like basically the ultimate check to Ogre Pond. That's true. Hearthflame is approaching your destination. Yeah, I'm sure he is. I'm sure he is. He's probably not going to be very happy about the survey results, though. Not a lot of people find Wellspring broken, at least from what I saw. Yeah. So Mega Hawlucha. So they didn't drop any speed or increase it. They just focused on bulk and offense, and that is literally all Mega Hawlucha needs to be like good. I understand that people like sort of hinge like Hawlucha's viability on it running on Burden, and that's true. It is obviously very good with on Burden, but I feel like people really underestimate just how good of a Pokemon Hawlucha actually like is fundamentally. Like if you look at its move pool, it's got some really good moves. It's got fast Encore, it's got Roost, it's got an amazing and very flexible typing that's great both defensively and offensively. It's got Taunt, it's got Roost, it's got like Encore, like I think I said Encore, but it's got boosting, it's got U-turn, it's got defog, it's got a lot of coverage, it's got like I don't know, like I can't I struggle to see why people are so like negative about it because like yes, it can't run unburden, but genuinely who cares? This thing is fundamentally good and they gave it stats in the areas that count the most. So it will be good. It will be good somewhere. That is the simple truth of the matter. What ability it gets, I don't know. I kind of hope it gets Defiant. That would be kind of cool. It also fits the little animatic, but I don't really know I don't know what ability it'll get, and truthfully, I don't really think it matters very much. They could give it Steadfast for all I care, and it won't matter because this is still very good for Hawlucha to get. It becomes a knockoff absorber. It has the moves to be good. Like it could be threatening immediately because it's got 137 base attack, which is very good, and it's got fighting flying stabs. Stamina would make sense too. Actually, stamina would be kind of freaky. Stamina would be very scary on this. Because then actually we have a little bit of a threat inbound because then you can click Swords Dance. You get a plus defense. Does it get body press? It does. That's pretty good. That could be kind of fun. I don't think it gets any other defense boosting though, other than like bulk up, I guess. I don't think it gets anything else. So I guess it's relying on bulk up and stamina, which I guess is kind of interesting because then you can run like body press, like dual wing beat or something, or like or Brave Bird. You know, you're focusing on body press, but like you have Brave Bird to kind of hit the stuff that body press can't. Yeah, I think it could be a really fun defogger. Yeah, body. It also gets Roost too, so that's something. Stamina would be pretty good on this for sure. I think this will be good. I mean, I struggle to see why Mega Hawlucha would be bad. They didn't just like throw in the towel and give it more speed. They gave it actual like an actual stat line. It's a great typing. Like it's like genuinely one of the most underrated types in the game because it's so good both offensively and defensively. Like you just check so much and you also threaten so much. Like really, it's just Dengo and like Zapdos that check that typing, and that's it. Yeah, I love that for a flying type. I'm also glad they kept it under 120 speed. But yeah, it'll be good. Mega Complete Zygarde is weird. They didn't give it 100 stat increase, a plus 100 stat increase, which is weird. I wonder why they did that. I genuinely don't know. I assume it's probably going to relate to the ability somehow. But in any case, let's address the elephant in the room. That is the highest special attack stat in the game by like a massive margin. See, I was on the right track with base 200 story mega. I just put it on the wrong thing. Uh, so Mega Zygarde gets something else noteworthy. Specifically, it actually introduces a new mechanic for Megas that turns your signature move into a new move. And it specifically, Core Enforcer gets replaced with a move called Annihilate, which I believe is a 90 base power special dragon move that bypasses fairy immunities, which is insane. Also, I do believe it is usable, yes. Um, so I will point out two things. One, you have to be in the complete form to Mega Evolve, and that is substantial because it does mean you have to be under half HP to use it. And while obviously this thing looks ludicrously crazy strong and broken, I actually don't think it'll be as broken as people think it's going to be. It loses attack, which I feel was an unnecessary change, but who am I to judge? Um, and it losing bulk in exchange for just all of this power makes me think that it's going to be running like I feel like it's going to run 1,000 arrows just so that way it can destroy like flying steel types with like earth power, to be honest. Like that would be really funny. Thankfully it has to hold a Mega Stone. It does have to hold a Mega Stone. I think specifically it has to run Zygarde, I think. It does have 5 signature moves. Yep. But it can't run them all on the same set, which is really funny. But yeah, that attack stat is special attack stat. It literally transcends the freaking bar here. Like, look at that. That is so funny. Oh man, that is so funny. Yeah, you could just sub DD into complete and then just start sweeping things. Truthfully, I think it's more likely to run something like Coil, so that way it has like a fully accurate like special moves as well. That actually benefits the special form. I actually wonder if it gets any special boosting. Let me check that. It does get glare. That's obviously good. Does it get workup? I don't know. Let me see what new moves it gets. It surely gets a couple new moves. It gets Iron Head. Wow, real game changer. Oh yeah, Meowstic is funny now too. Uh, yeah, for sure. You probably do just want Dragon Dance because then you can run 1,000 arrows more reliably. You run like Dragon Dance, 1,000 arrows, like Earth Power, Nihilite, and you're just basically just kind of like really you just run like 1,000 arrows specifically for Corviknight probably, or like Enamorus, or like Fairy Flyings, Mega Clefable, give or take. But then you just destroy them with Nihilite, so. Yeah, I don't know. It clicks its buttons. It's funny, etc., etc. It's just this stat line is so funny. What a time to be alive, truly. And obviously, it's still like absurdly bulky. I mean, base 216 speed or 216. Jesus, Reggielecki 2.0. 216, 91, 85 bulk is like good. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. But I will say I don't think it'll be that broken. It'll obviously still be like top tier, but I don't think it'll be like that broken in Ubers. I feel like the fact that you have to be in the complete form to Mega Evolve is like a pretty substantial drawback, considering complete is not a surefire like guarantee, and you're running a set that's almost certainly going to be reliant on being Mega Zygarde. I do think it's very likely it will be busted bolting. I'm not saying it won't. I'm just saying that I don't think it'll be as obviously broken as people think it'll be. But yeah, it'll be good. It'll obviously be freaking busted. I don't think anybody needs. That's not really up for debate, truthfully. All right, Drampa, Drampa, Drampa. So Drampa's kind of fun. Hello, Peanut Pocker Man. I am not Jade Harley at the moment, but I appreciate your camaraderie. Um. Anyway, uh, more bulk for Drampa is nice. I do think that really helps because it does get Roost, and it is like kind of designed around Berserk and sort of using like, just kind of being a disruptive attacker. It does get Glare. It doesn't get any speed though, which is a little unfortunate because now it can't really use Glare as effectively as maybe you'd think it would. I don't think Mega Hoopa makes a ton of sense. I think optically, I mean, I don't know. I guess I shouldn't be saying that when Zygarde Complete Mega is a thing. Um, I was thinking about going over the leaked uh the leaked Pokemon. Still kind of mulling it over though. It's just kind of hard to say because we don't have we have literally no information on them. So it's like I don't know what there is to really speculate on. But yeah, Mega Drampa, I don't really know what to think about it. I think it'll be probably decent. I don't know. It'll rip up a lower tier probably. I don't think it's. I think the issue is it has too many weaknesses and it's not fast enough. It'll probably be a good bulky attacker though. Maybe a potential like Calm Mind Sweeper. I don't. I would take Riddler Q with a grain of salt. Bolting. Riddler Q is not reliable anymore. He just kind of ever since Legends Arceus, his source is just like gone, and so he just kind of says like really vague things on purpose now. I wouldn't say Victory Bell's actually that big of a disappointment because actually Victory Bell does have a unique effect in game where it can ignore steel types. It hits steel types. So it can actually hit steel types, so it gets better corrosion basically. So that's kind of fun. I don't know if any other Pokemon here have an effect that's sort of similar. But yeah, Mega Phalanx, it'll probably be okay. I mean, truthfully, I don't really think there's much to be said about Phalanx. It's just kind of Phalanx, but more. It's more geared toward using No Retreat. It's got like, it's just better at using No Retreat, and I think that is like noteworthy. You just run like P-Jab, like Drain Punch. I don't think it gets Drain Punch actually. Sorry, CC, knock off, and it'll just kind of clean. Drampa getting Drizzle? I actually do think getting Drizzle would make sense, because it looks like a Storm Cloud. That would be kind of cool. The only issue is it just doesn't really have any moves to take advantage of that with. Like, it has Thunder and Hydro Pump and Hurricane, but, like, those moves are not really ones you'd really want to run on this, other than maybe you might want to run Hydro Pump, maybe Thunder. It'll definitely rip apart a lower tier, like that's for sure. It's a Calm Mind guy. Do we know what Skarm's stats are? We do. It's an offensive guy, and he's very cool. I think he will be very good. I don't know what ability Mega Phalanx will get. I think it'll... I really don't know. Maybe like Intimidate? Intimidate would make sense. I have no idea. I genuinely could not tell you. When will we know abilities? When Champions comes out, most likely. Which, to my knowledge, is the beginning of 2026. So we'll probably... YOLO Skarm has been realized in the... Yeah! I don't know if that was... yeah, I've been running a lot of like Spikes, Taunt, Brave Bird on Sun lately. So I'm glad people are catching on to that. It's a fun set. Yeah, we'll know abilities probably whenever Champions comes out, which to my knowledge is going to be like early 2026. And that will probably change things here, but you know. These three will be broken, by the way. Well, more specifically, this one will be broken. This one will probably just be top tier. So true, Ruby Candy. I'm with you there. Mega Darker Eye is broken, like ludicrously so. And like I said, I don't really know what to say about these because we just don't have a stat line yet. If you guys want me to go over any one of these, I'd be happy to. Just to kind of like... But... Not sure. None of these like are... Like, there are a few of these. Oh yeah, there's like 15. There's like 15 of them. There's probably more, but... That was what was leaked in the files. Not having air balloon or lefties does suck, but also like just being a bulkier Heatran is pretty nice. I don't know. I do agree though, not having an ability like an item really will be like a big deal. I do wonder how it'll cope with that. They're not gonna be good. The fact that like they both share the same typing is such a strange choice. I don't know why they opted for that. Also, let's call them what they are. They're just Mega Pikachu. Yeah, I mean, of these, is there any that any of you guys would like me to just glance at? Because I'm not really comfortable just like going over all of them when I don't even know like what the stats are. And also, if we don't even know if they're even going to be real megas. These were just extracted from scrub data. Mega Magearna is broken. I don't think I need to explain that. That one is actually pretty easy. That one is... It's Magearna, but they give it more BST. And now it's broken. Yippee. Chimecho is an interesting choice. I really do wonder why they went with Chimecho here. I wonder what they'll do. I feel like they're gonna give it a new ability, like a new typing. It feels like they're gonna give it a typing. I mean, it's got a cool move pool. To be honest, Chimecho's move pool is really cool. Like, yeah, it got Defog, Encore. It's got Levitate. I don't know. Like, I think it could be kind of good if its stats weren't like garbage and if it had a real typing. Yeah, Heal Bell. Oh yeah, come to mention it. Heal Bell, it is the only mon, one of the only mons in the game with Heal Bell, huh? Yeah, you're right. I think it's just like Chansey and Chimecho. Yeah, wow. How about that? Fascinating. Like Metaton? I'm afraid I don't see the resemblance. Is it because of the legs? Is it because of the tail kind of looking like legs? I see. Okay. Last calls for anybody for anything y'all want me to go over here with the new megas? The ones that are any previous megas, like the official ones, or any of the leaked ones you want me to think about conceptually? If not, I think that'll be it because I am getting tired and I need to work on some homework. Megastar Raptor is gonna redeem its UUBL leader slot. I feel it in my bones. I feel it in my bones. Make Star Raptor UUBL again. What are we doing here, guys? The Sacred Order has been disrupted. Um, okay. Okay. Well, I think that will be it for me then. I am very tired and I want to work on some stuff. So, yeah, thank you guys for coming by and listening to my long-winded thoughts on these. I think these will be very fun additions to whatever meta they end up in. The ones I'm most excited for personally. Mega Skarmory is probably the one I'm most excited for, but I'm really also excited to see how. I'm also really excited to see if Mega Electros can pull itself up by the bootstraps because I want Mega Electros to be good. Uh, yeah, go for it. And yeah. I will see you all on the flip side. Have a good night and enjoy ZA if you're playing. Yep. Bye.